Humans are obsessed with the occult, and every elite that ends up getting in power in every culture builds pyramids and chops their children's hearts out and drinks their blood. The Druids, the Aztecs, the Romans did rituals, but it's the Greeks did human sacrifice. But it's like a footnote. Every culture has done it until you see the worship of the one God. And even if you're an atheist or whatever, I mean, do atheists send me emails when I talk about pygmies being animist and worshiping plants and animals and say, I don't believe in God, don't tell me about pygmies' beliefs? The point is the pygmies are worshiping plants and animals if you look at it from an anthropology or sociology or archaeology angle. And the globalists, the people that have got 400-plus reactors, 90% of them leaking, that are genetically engineering everything, thinking they're God, they are out of their minds power trips. They believe they're establishing world government. They're setting it up. They're in control, and they're crazy, but they are in control. What do you make, Sean, of the fact, or maybe you disagree, that the globalists are endangering the planet while lecturing us that they want to kill everybody to save it? I mean, what do you make of where they're taking us, and who do the elite from your research into the Illuminati, where do they think this is all going?
You know, I think we've hit this 2012 pretty hard, and it's a fascinating time. From the point of view of consciousness, there's a new awareness, I think, on the scale of global consciousness from people. The fact that we can communicate across the world through cell phones and internet from everywhere from Africa to America. They're trying to guide this to destroy nation states. And actually, that's why when I came back, I took the stand, you know, on Iran, saying leave them alone. They have the right to nuclear power, including weaponry if need be. But the point is that they are a sovereign nation. The agenda that we've known for over 100 years of the high-level Masons and especially the British elite, the British monarchy, has been to continue the empire through informal means, right? They couldn't continue the empire through manpower. They don't have enough British troops on the ground across the world. So what they wanted was ideology, finance, control through IMF and
roundtable groups.
Roundtable groups, and then, of course, the idea ultimately that no nation is sovereign. They hate nation states because the idea of a nation state, the Treaty of Westphalia system going back to the late 17th century, mid-17th century,
sure,
which allowed for our country to exist, you know, based on that same principle, is that, you know, a country is sovereign within its borders. It has the right to develop itself, you know, according to its constitution, according to its people's will. And they say, no, it's not according to your people's will. It's going to be according to our will. We're going to blow your country up. We're going to blow. And
notice it's a corporate model, just like the British East India Company ran India for hundreds of years. It was a private corporation. That's all globalism is they're exempt from the rules. We're all under this yoke of tyranny. And now under Obama, they're launching all these peace wars. How do you think things are going for the global controllers?
Well, they're in desperate trouble. I mean, that's why I'm saying read Ben Fulford's work on this gold issue, because there's some serious, it's called the Keegan lawsuit. These guys are from Chinese side, or the so-called Dragon family, are suing the globalists to get their gold back. Because the point is that there's so much gold that's been hoarded by the Federal Reserve Bank, the Rothschild family, these Western Illuminati families basically have been stealing gold. And now through legal means, the Chinese and others are actually trying to, what we call the White Dragon, or the sort of the White Hat faction, are trying to get accountability for this gold.
Did you notice that Chavez has demanded his gold?
Good, because what happens is these countries seize them. And the point is that when we invade Iraq, when we and the British invade Libya and Iraq and these countries, we're stealing the gold. That's what's being looted in the process, you know. And you're also doing a controlled disintegration project where you're arming the various sides. So of course, you know, the financier elite is always profiting from financing both sides and creating so-called controlled disintegration. If you can't control the system, they then have a policy which is controlled disintegration of that system, and you try to control the rate of decline, and then, you know, by smashing it, you basically, it's like when the Rockefeller Empire was smashed, and as opposed to one consolidated power, they then had control of like 20 different companies, right? Now
it's a hydra which can even hide better and create monopolies that are even more powerful. Yeah. I mean, they say the Rothschilds are obsessed with hiding the fact that they've got trillions in different loot. And I agree with you. Things are not going well for the globalists, but that's what's so dangerous. Is that they're going to
blow it up. They want World War III. I mean, the point about Iran is Russia is the last the last nation is actually protecting sovereign nation states at this point. When Putin said that, you're facing a cult of violence, he's saying that because he knows how insane Obama is and his controllers, his British masters. And actually, the Jin people told me that Obama answers directly to the Queen. And there's indications, they said, from the way that he behaved when he went to meet her, that she is basically his psychic sorcerer, let's call it, or controller. Because historically, the Illuminati have a ruler, and then they have some kind of Merlin figure, a sorcerer, who's involved in protecting them psychically and conjuring Jin and conjuring the demonic powers by which they can rule. So apparently, the relationship of Obama to the Queen is exactly that.
All right.
He is her puppet.
All right, I want to be clear here. We can prove that in this reality that the British royalty, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, they want world government eugenics. I have their own documents. That's crazy enough. People can't believe it. I've never seen these things you're talking about. I know the elites believe in them and are very serious about it. But Sean, I've met you a few times in person, talked to you on the phone, had you on the show. You come across as a nice person who believes what they're saying, and you come across as an intelligent person. And, of course, you have a very famous father. And then you're here on air, saying you've recognized Islam and that you're communicating with entities called genies. I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say, come on, is this some type of elaborate psyop? Or is this real things that have happened to you? And then why are you saying these things on air? Even if they're true, are you worried about being attacked?
No, I'm not saying that I personally communicate with genies. I mean, I've received phone calls and communications from people, could be sorcerers, frankly. I mean, I'm not entirely clear of what level of operation they're involved with. But I mean, whether or not the CIA, ONI, Defense, the DIA. I mean, there's many different agencies that can be involved in this and that are monitoring me. This I know. Even, the fact is that I was told about the strike in New York. Remember when New York and Virginia were hit in August 23rd of last year? I was called on June 29th and told 55 days till blackout. And this was one of those people that I don't know exactly who he is. I've never seen him face to face. I've only received phone calls, and I'm not sure which intelligence agency he works with. I'm not sure who what faction he's for, but he told me 55 days till blackout. 55 days later, Virginia got the earthquake. New York followed. The same week that a storm hit, a tsunami hit New York. I mean, this is insane.
Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there because, when I've talked to you personally and, when we've hung out and, worked on the TV show, I don't bring up the questions that everybody I know constantly brings up. But, here's your father, one of the most famous directors in history. And I've got to ask you, what does he think about all the things you're doing, or is that private?
There's, you speak with a lot of people around the film business. There's an awareness of the spiritist realm. There's a very strong spiritual realm, spiritual awareness. He's someone that has gone through that. I mean, you can see it in The Doors. You can see his relationship to Buddhism that follows with Heaven and Earth and other films. He's aware of demons. He's very aware of these things. Ultimately, does he believe in this, what I'm talking about? I don't know. I would say that's a long conversation, and frankly, there's things that he will say and won't say. The same with Steven Spielberg or any of these people. If you think about it, why are they making movies? Why is Spielberg making movies about aliens so much? And why does Hollywood propagate certain stories? Alien invasions, blackouts. Things
sure,
like
there's a lot we don't know, and that's what the occult's all about. Well, let me put it to you this way. You told me some stuff that fits in with information I've gotten from separate people that are at your level of connections and things I've personally witnessed growing up in Dallas and then also Bohemian Grove, so experiences I've had. And at the time you didn't say, this is off record, don't say anything, but later I said, hey, I'm going to bring this up. You said, no, no, no. I mean, when are you going to talk about the things that you know about the Illuminati?
I think that'll come out in the course of the next year if we can do a documentary on this stuff and actually document it. I mean, I've seen photographs. I've seen photographs of some of the rituals beyond what you did. I mean, actual, estates, private estates where the cloaks are on. It looks like, eyes wide shut.
Sean, you haven't just seen photographs, right? I mean, you've got some other sources here.
I have other sources. I've never been invited. I'm hoping to.
All right. Oh, man, I tell you what. All right, whatever.
That, we're trying to investigate this stuff.